It's better to keep your mouth shut and let people wonder you are a fool than to open it and remove all their doubt. Whenever you find yourself on the side of majority, it is time to pause and reflect. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning, and if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence, and then success is sure. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Suppose you were an idiot, and suppose you were a member of Congress, but I repeat myself. If you pick up a starving dog, feed and prosper him, he won't ever bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. Buy land, they are not making it anymore. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Before proceeding ahead, one humble request. Please like this video and subscribe the channel. It will be a huge encouragement and support for a new channel like us. I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. The human race is a race of cowards, and I am not only marching in that procession but carrying a banner. Don't let your schooling interfere with your education. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing, it was here first. There is no real difference between a man who can't read and one who won't. There are 3 degrees of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. Do the thing you fear most, and the death of fear is certain. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you would rather not. There are 2 types of achievers: people who accomplish things, and people who have claimed to have accomplished things. The first group is less crowded. The Nile ain't just a river in Egypt. The right word may be effective, but no word was never as effective as rightly timed pause. The difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter. It's the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. Life would be infinitely happier if we could only be born at the age of 80 and gradually approach 18. Humor is mankind's greatest blessing. Let us endeavor to live so that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. We have the best government that money can buy. If you hold a cat by the tail, you learn things you cannot learn any other way. There is no distinctly American criminal class, except Congress. Climate is what we expect, weather is what we get. Golf is a good walk spoiled. It's not the size of the dog in the fight but the size of the fight in the dog that matters. Age an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. In the first place, God made idiots, that was for practice, then he made school boards. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience, this is the ideal life. Patriotism is supporting your country all the time, and government only when it deserves it. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die anytime. Go to heaven for climate, hell for the company. A man who carries a cat by the tail learns something he can learn in no other way. Get your facts first, then you can distort them as you please. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer someone else up. It ain't those parts of the Bible that I can't understand that bother me, it is the parts that I do understand. You can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. Do the right thing, it will gratify some people and astonish the rest. Never pick a fight with the people who buy ink by the barrel. The lack of money is the root of all evil. Truth is stranger than fiction because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities, truth isn't. All generalizations are false, including this one. Be careful about reading health books, you may die of a misprint. It usually takes me more than 3 weeks to prepare an impromptu speech. Wrinkles indicate where smiles have been. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you will have ceased to live. When you fish for love, bait with your heart, not your brain. Part of the secret of success in life is to eat what you like and let the food fight it out inside. I don't like to commit myself about heaven and hell. You see, I have friends in both places. But who prays for Satan? Who, in 18 centuries, has had the common humanity to pray for the one sinner that needed it most? Grief can take care of itself, but to get the full value out of a joy you must have somebody to share it with. When your friends begin to flatter you on how young you look, it's a sure sign you are getting old. Everything human is pathetic. The secret source of humor itself is not joy but sorrow. Noise proves nothing. Often a hen who has merely laid an egg crackles as if she laid an asteroid. Giving up smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I ought to know because I have done it thousands of times. A patriot is a person who can holler the loudest without knowing what he is hollering about. I was seldom able to see an opportunity until it had ceased to be one. There is a charm about the forbidden that makes it unspeakably desirable. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it solely on these accounts. A person with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds, then he is a visionary. Few things are harder to put up with than the annoyance of a good example. Everything has its limits. Iron ore cannot be educated into gold. It's curious that physical courage should be so common in the world and moral courage so rare. Many a small thing has been made large by the right kind of advertising. A classic book is one which everyone praises but no one reads. Against the assault of laughter nothing can stand. The very ink with which history is written is merely liquid prejudice. Why is it that we rejoice at a birth and grieve at a funeral? It is because we are not the person involved. Man was made at the end of the week's work, when God was tired. It's much easier to stay out than get out. Work is a necessary evil to be avoided. I didn't attend the funeral, but I sent a nice letter saying I approved of it. Truth is mighty and will prevail. There is nothing wrong in this, except that it ain't so. Familiarity breeds contempt, and children. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. Don't say the old lady screamed. Bring her on and let her scream. Thousands of geniuses live and die undiscovered, either by themselves or by others. Thunder is impressive, but it is lightning that does the work.